Hi, I'm Bepper. That's an anatomical poster of a little monkey, and you are watching one of my videos. Let's get into it. So over on Instagram, I asked you guys to give me some questions related to anything animals, and I would try my best to answer them. Because I go to an agricultural school, which basically means that I have a ton of animal classes because I'm an animal major. Specifically classes with dogs, and I've also learned about reptiles and birds and fish and all that. So today is going to be an educational Animal Jam video. I think it's going to be pretty fun. So you know what? Let's go ahead and get on into it, and maybe you'll learn a fact or two you didn't know before. From _.moopin._. Wow, what a username. How many different colors can a fish have? Well, it really depends on the species of fish, but they can come in like any color under the rainbow, basically. They're like red and green and yellow and purple and like they're everything. There's even fish that literally glow in the dark. There's fish that like, there's too many kinds of fish, okay? Too many of them. And then there's fish that are just like scary looking and they look like little worms, and it's just like there's so many different kinds of fish, it's not even funny. Like when you just say fish, you probably think of a goldfish or something. But you know, there are so many more types of fish than just a goldfish. And they come in all shapes and sizes, and some look like little squares, and it's like, it's weird. It's just weird. Fish are weird. From jades.adventures.with.pets, what makes a show dog a show dog? So in America, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know that in America, there's this thing called the American Kennel Club, and I'm sure you've heard of them, the AKC. You might have heard when you got your dog that they're AKC registered. And to participate in a show, if you want your dog to be a show dog, they have to be registered with the AKC. It basically means that their parents were purebreds, and those parents before them were purebreds, and their parents' parents before them were purebreds. Basically, everyone is a purebred. So if you have a golden retriever and they're AKC registered, you know they're purely a golden retriever. Next, a show dog needs to be intact, which basically means they're not spayed or neutered. This is because the point of a dog show is to find the best specimen of that breed. There's something called a breed standard, which basically outlines exactly how an animal in that breed should look. For example, a pug's breed standard would definitely talk about its squished in little face. And a golden retriever's breed standard would talk about its floppy little ears. And an Afghan hound's breed standard would definitely talk about its coat and how that's supposed to look. They're very, very in-depth descriptions of what the perfect dog in that breed is supposed to look like. So you bring your dog to these dog shows, wherever they may be hosted, and you try to show off their best features while also hiding their worst features. Any good judge would be able to still find their worst features, but a good handler knows how to try to hide them in order for the dog to win. Also, though, what makes a show dog is the fact that they are actually very trained, like highly trained. If you've ever seen a dog show on TV, you probably know you see them walking with their owners or their handlers, because sometimes their owners don't actually show them, and they'll find someone else to show them that's just better at it. But that's besides the point. You'll see them standing, just completely still, watching them. That's called stacking, and it helps the judge find out what their body is like, their body structure and their body posture, how they carry themselves really. That is definitely a trained behavior, because dogs don't naturally just stand pretty for you and stay perfectly still and allow you to touch them all over and check their teeth. It's actually pretty difficult, and I've been training my dog Charlie at school to be in my school's dog show, and it has taken weeks, and we're still not even where we need to be. In addition to that, if it is a breed that requires a certain grooming kind of thing, like think the poodle, it takes hours upon hours upon hours of grooming to get that dog exactly the way it needs to look. So it actually takes a lot to be a show dog. It's not just a pretty dog, it is a lot of work. So that's kind of what it takes to be a show dog, and I hope you enjoyed my answer there. I'm actually glad you asked that question, because I am literally in a class at school specifically for that reason right now. Anklets4 asked, what is the largest and smallest possible mammals that can be pets? Well, it kind of depends on what you call a pet, because some people will go out and, you know, get a pet elephant because people are crazy. But if you mean just like normal pets, I'd say the largest possible mammal pet that you could have is a horse, because they're huge. They're like thousands of pounds and like many feet tall, like they're as tall as we are. And the smallest possible mammal that can be a pet, or at least a regular pet, I'd say like a mouse or a hamster or something like that. Of course, there's gonna be those people that have like pet elephants or whatever, and they'll be like, actually, I have a pet elephant and that's larger than a horse, but Those I'd say are just kind of like the common pets. Kiwi.turtle asked, are certain dog breeds better at learning commands? And there's a yes and a no kind of answer to this. So yes, in the fact that each dog breed was bred for a specific purpose. For example, the golden retriever was bred to go and retrieve birds that the hunter shot down from the water. And many of the toy dogs, such as pugs, were literally just bred to be a companion animal and sit on your lap all day. So there's definitely a difference there, because golden retrievers, they had to learn a specific job and they had to be smart for that. Because if they weren't good at doing their job, then they just didn't get bred. So the kind of smartness, I guess, got passed down. Because if you weren't a smart dog and you couldn't learn your job, then you just didn't make puppies. And your puppies would not inherit any of your traits. It would go to the next dog who is smart, and they'd inherit the smart traits. And for example, pugs, they were bred literally to just sit on your lap all day, and nobody really cared about how smart they were because all they needed to do was sit on your lap, because they were a pet and they didn't really have a job. So in that sense, some dogs are more stubborn, some dogs are much more apt to learn. Some just get things instantly, like border collies are extremely smart. But that doesn't mean you can't train a pug. It doesn't mean you can't train all of the hard to train dog breeds that people say. Like beagles are supposed to be super stubborn, but that doesn't mean you can't train a beagle. It's really all in how effective you are as a trainer. It kind of just depends on how much you discipline, how much you reward, and stuff like that. So you can definitely train any dog, but I guess some breeds are more difficult to train than others, but that's really not an excuse for people not to train their dogs, because every single dog has a brain, okay? They are smart. They're very smart. They can think. I promise. From pedal_the_boss, what would the best family dog breed be? This is really a matter of opinion. A lot of people think golden retrievers are the perfect family dog, but then you'll find people who think pit bulls are the perfect family dog. There are definitely some breeds I would avoid if you had like small children. Like you wouldn't get a Tibetan Mastiff if you had like a 3-year-old, but then again, it all comes down to the pet's training. If they were trained to grow up in a family and love them very much, you can make any dog a family dog, really. From Sethi Jr., can you just blindly enter your dog as a show dog? If they are registered with the AKC, you can bring them to any dog show. Yeah, that's literally it. You could just bring them to any dog show. You probably wouldn't win because, as I said, it takes a lot of training and a lot of grooming, and everyone that shows dogs is actually pretty professional about it. It's actually kind of difficult. So you could just blindly enter your dog, but I don't think you'd win. But I mean, you could. I don't know. Although, I will say, you can't just blindly enter your dog into a thing like Westminster. Westminster takes, like, the top few dogs of that breed in the entire country, and they get invited to Westminster. And then there's people who sign up, like, the first day that signups are available. But there's no way you could just enter blindly into a competition like the Westminster. A lot of these questions are about dog shows, and wow, I'm so happy because I actually have knowledge on that stuff. From petlove87.aj, approximately how many breeding cycles does it take among the special breeds to get the ideal show dog? Well, it could be a female's very first litter of puppies or their very last litter of puppies. It really kind of just depends on what puppies you get in that litter and who you're breeding the female to. If you breed a female to the same exact male every single time and you're not getting the results you want, then you probably shouldn't breed them with the male anymore and find a different male, which is what a lot of show dogs do. It's actually kind of standard procedure that you don't breed your female if you're trying to get show puppies to the same male every single time. You only breed them to that male like once or twice, and then you find a different male, breed them once or twice, so that you extend the gene pool 1 and 2, try to get better results each and every time. For Charlie, my dog, he is basically the ideal specimen for his breed. He follows breed standard very well, and I believe that he was his mother's second litter ever, so it really just kind of depends. From Purple Puffle YT, what are your favorite breeds of cats and dogs? So my favorite cat breeds, this is very easy for me. Number 1, Ragdoll. Number 2, Sphinx. And number 3, Siamese. And as it currently stands, I have a Ragdoll kitten and a Siamese cat. All that's missing is the Sphinx, and I really hope to get one day because they're just like little skin babies. And they're so soft and warm and cute and very lovable too. They are like the sweetest cats. As for my favorite breed of dog, I would have to say that would be the Nederlandse Keukenhoundje, the Great Pyrenees, because I had to do a project on them and I had to learn everything about them, and the Afghan Hound, because they just look really weird and goofy, and when they run, they just look so strange, and it's great. From _sci-fi44_, what would be the quote-unquote top guard dog I could invest in? Well, you could go out and get like a German Shepherd puppy or Tibetan Mastiff puppy, which are usual guard dog type dogs. And you could try training them yourself, and you'd have to be really consistent because to train a really good guard dog, it takes a lot of work. Like if you're talking about an actual guard dog as opposed to a dog that just has a scary bark. So you could just go out and get a puppy and try to train it yourself. Or there are places where they actually take puppies from when they're puppies and they train them as guard dogs their entire lives until they're like around 1 or 2 and they're really solid with their training. And then they sell them off to families to be guard dogs. And that is going to be it for today's video because I already feel like I've ranted long enough about all these different aspects of animals. I hope you learned a little something in today's video. And anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.